An abandoned prison is reopened and renovated, with the job of running it given to a tough warden named Ethan Sharpe, who used to work there. Once the first inmates arrive, however, it becomes clear that something is wrong with the building. The problem is the ghost of a prisoner who was executed there years ago and has returned to settle the score with the living. Over the course of his 40-year career in film, Finnish director Renny Harlin has earned a reputation as a craftsman who simply doesn't care what he's shooting. He knows how to make movies fast-paced, energetic, and visually appealing. But when it comes to scripts, he seems to barely engage with them at all. Harlin doesn't fix what's broken or doesn't quite hold together, nor does he look for, and certainly doesn't create, meaning. He thinks in images, scenes, and action, and if the script is weak to begin with, Harlin simply decorates it with lights and glitter, leaving the holes underneath just as glaring as ever. That's one of the reasons Harlin's career resembles the heartbeat of a patient with tachycardia. A run of major hits that began with Die Hard 2 and ended with Deep Blue Sea was followed by a string of questionable projects and eventually outright flops, from which Harlin tried to escape by any means necessary. Over the past couple of decades, he has made movies in China and Russia, and even returned to his native Finland. Among his more recent ideas was a remake of the cult slasher The Strangers, except stretched into a trilogy. Harlin has always been distinguished by his boundless energy and complete lack of selectiveness, and you can already see both qualities in his English-language debut, Prison, a low-budget horror movie entrusted to him by B-movie king Charles Band. In the mid-1980s, many filmmakers were trying to give the slasher genre a second wind by adding an extra dimension, much like A Nightmare on Elm Street. And in Prison, random inmates are killed by a bloodthirsty ghost. After being executed in the electric chair, the ghost somehow learned to control not only electricity, but also barbed wire and metal in general. He turns a solitary cell into a giant oven and uses barbed wire to fire the machine guns mounted on the prison walls. It sounds ridiculous, but in the moment, if you don't stop to think about what's actually happening, it's quite charming. In Prison, Harlin demonstrates his trademark ability to make things look good on very little money, while also understanding the importance of audience connection, which is why the story revolves around a colorful bunch of characters. What they're doing, why they're doing it, and where they're going are rhetorical questions. What matters is that a very young Viggo Mortensen playing a badass car thief standing up to the prison authorities already displays the charisma of a future star, while many of his fellow inmates remain memorable despite the murky plot. Lane Smith is also good as the prison warden with a big skeleton in his closet. Harlin pushes him toward overacting, but it works in the moment. As an inexpensive B-movie, Prison never had much of a chance of becoming a commercial hit, but it was spectacularly unlucky. Empire, the studio behind the production, went bankrupt, so the movie never received a proper theatrical release. Harlin, who had run out of money by that point, began looking for work by showing Prison to potential employers on a personal videotape. His persistence paid off. The director was hired to essentially pull the fourth A Nightmare on Elm Street movie together out of thin air. And the rest, as they say, is history. Prison is an integral part of that story, though, to be fair, not a particularly important one.